Hello, today is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. My name is Daniel Mullany, and behind the camera we have Diego Juarez. And today we are here to film a video source inspection of a fully remanufactured HTC 8010 cassette and box cleaning system. Our customer is located here in the United States, and their PO number is 12125. So I'll go ahead and get the process, or describe the system first, and then we'll go ahead and get it started. This is sort of a long process with a 45-minute dry cycle plus several wash and rinse steps. So I'm gonna get the tool actually running before showing other parts of the system, and we'll just kind of bounce around a little bit here for this demo. So first things first, we have our touchscreen upgraded control system. We offer this touchscreen control, this PLC upgrade to not just this 8010 system, but the family of 8010, 8020, or 8030 systems. It's also the same control system that we use on our new box washers. So you can purchase these tools from us both refurbished and new. It's a really intuitive interface with allowing our recipes password protected. Here we are able to reprogram our recipes by simply selecting the item we want to reprogram, changing the value. I'm just going to keep it at 5 and pressing enter. We can also change how we want to name our programs, which is nice. And then we have multiple recipes as well. So you can see here's recipe 3, and I'm on the source inspect recipe, which we're going to be using today. We also have an alarm screen, which is going to show the various alarms that happen with our system. This being an 8010 system, it's a little bit older of a model, but it still has several of alarms, including DI water fill, process pump, filters, surfactant reservoir, everything else like that. You can see that clearly indicated on this system, or on the screen. We're then going to jump into our menu right here, where we have a variety of items. We have analytics showing the total runs and alarms for the system. We have a logbook showing recipe changes, process runs, alarms, etc. A password management screen, the ability to set the clock, a screen that shows us our filter statuses in terms of hours used and setting the hours used that you'd like to have before you have a notification for filter change out. Our system settings discussing our fill timers. Our system info, which is going to describe our firmware version and the development team for this for the system, or the touchscreen. And lastly, one of my favorite capabilities on here, which is our manual mode. Our manual mode is going to allow us to individually actuate all of the features on the system in order to do troubleshooting. So this is a fantastic screen, and the graphics look great with this tool. I love the PLCs here. A good example, I'm turning on the air blower right now. Okay. All right, and so that's pretty straightforward here. What I'm going to do now is open up and show our products on that are currently in the system. Oh, there's a little delay there for the door. Okay, so in here we've just got some general use racks. Right here we have 6-inch Teflon cassettes. And on this side we're running 200 millimeter of these black polypropylene Stat Pro cassettes. All right, so now after I start the system, it's going to go through four total wash steps, 2 wash steps and 2 rinse steps. So 4 steps there before going into our dry. I'm going to get this started so we can spend the next 2 minutes filling the reservoir, washing and draining. We can't see into the process chamber, so there's nothing really to see. I'll just go ahead and get it started. All right, so now the process is beginning, and then we're going to see on the screen that we've got a surfactant pump on, our DI water fill on. It's going to look for the DI water fill to hit its a float sensor, and then we're going to proceed with the wash process. Coming to the back of the system here, I can see that everything looks fantastic. We've replaced the cylinders associated with air knife actuation. They've also been calibrated. We have a brand new surfactant pump back here, a new reservoir for the surfactant in general, and everything looks great. All the tubing and everything else like that, considered consumables, has been replaced. When I come to the front of the system here, I have an Allen wrench in order to access these, oh, I actually just closed it a little tighter. These two front maintenance panels. I'll go ahead and pop this open right here. And so you can see down here that everything looks great as well. We rebuilt the blower motor, rebuilt the wash pump. Again, I might have mentioned before, but we've replaced all the filters as well. We have a brand new HEPA filter as well as a brand new pre-filter in here, and the entire undercarriage area has been completely cleaned out and decontaminated. The door has also been realigned along with new pulleys and springs to maintain the door when it's being opened. So this system looks great, and it has also been serialized by us for tracking, which is EQP-01028. Okay, coming back to the main screen, I can see that we now have our preset 45-second drain valve open. This is draining the reservoir to make sure that we don't have any residual water left in the drain reservoir. Basically, we want to make sure that all drains out, because when we refill and rinse again, we want to make sure that we're not leaving residual surfactant. The goal, like any typical wash system, is we're going to have wash steps followed by several rinse steps to make sure that any of the surfactant that's been mixed in to create a solution is completely washed out of the chamber, so that way we can proceed to the dry steps without any of that residual surfactant then drying and baking onto our cassette surfaces. Okay, everything's looking great. We're on step number 2 now of our fill cycle. Okay, so it took about 55 seconds in order to fill up entirely and hit that float switch, which it just did. And now we can see that we've got our DR water flow being detected along with our process pump on. So one of the great parts about these cassette cleaning systems is that their original sort of design, we'll call it, or application is going to be to wash cassettes and boxes. But they're really fantastic for washing anything. So we have a whole variety of cassette and box or product rack designs already completed, and we have customers regularly asking us to design a variety of custom racks that we can do for you guys as well. So a good example would be, instead of just washing the 6-inch cassettes or 8-inch cassettes and boxes that we've shown here, just cassettes actually in this sense, no boxes. But we can also wash things such as beakers, mask holders, single wafer coin carriers, and any kind of tray that you might be using in your fab. There was one product that we recently built a rack for called like a JDEC tray, which was sort of like a mask carrier, just pops open like this. But really the point is that because this is sort of an industrial or a semiconductor grade industrial type dishwasher type system, we can really run anything that you want in this tool. Really what we need to do is just have your product sent to us, so that way we can evaluate it and then provide a design service to build out a rack, and then we can provide that for your box washer. One of the projects that we're quoting out right now has probably 13 or 14 different products that were sent in to us for evaluation in order to provide racks for it. I think after evaluating all 14 of their products, we were able to determine that 6 different racks could be used in order to fit all of those different products on. As you can imagine, some racks are cross-compatible to multiple different products that you want to run in here. And so that's part of the service that we do as well, is we're going to take a look at that for you and find a way to make sure that cross-compatible racks can be used when it makes sense. That way you're not sitting around with 14 racks for every single product, but instead making good use of your space and your budget when designing this out for your application. All right, so everything's still looking great. I can feel and hear into the system that this wash pump is running, obviously, in addition to what you see here. I can see that our DI water temp is holding. It's dropping down to about 52 degrees Celsius and then warming back up to our set point of 60 degrees because we have a DI water heating column back here. But as you can imagine, when the system goes through its wash process, when it depletes that reservoir, it's got to be refilled from an ambient source, and that's from our building right here. So our ambient source is then refilling it, it's heating back up, and then that dumps back into the chamber. And if we see here, we've got 10 seconds left of this drain fill. We're getting up to okay, so we heated up to 59 degrees Celsius of the 60 degrees set point, so that's fantastic. What we're doing is we're hitting our set point, and then we're filling the reservoir in the chamber, and then we have our DI water column refilling and hitting its set point again before we move into the wash step. Well, in this case, it is a rinse step because we're just using the DI water at this point. So what I'm expecting is that we're gonna have maybe 15 more seconds like we have on previous steps where it's taking about 55 seconds for the DI water fill to hit the float sensor, and then we're gonna move into our last rinse step here. Awesome, so there we go. I'll also take a second to talk about our just overall refurbishment process with box washers, as well as our spin rinse dryers. Because when we provide a refurbishment process for these that's a lot of process, but for wet process tools, we're gonna go through an extensive rebuild process where we're gonna take the extensive rebuild procedure where we're gonna take the system and break it apart entirely. From there, we're gonna chemically clean or electropolish all the metal parts. We're gonna replace all tubing, gaskets, filters, and everything else associated or something that we would consider a consumable. From there, we're going to go through a strict rebuild or a reassembly process of any of these systems. And when we reassemble our tools, our expectation is that they're going to be in like new condition. And that's why we like to put an extended warranty on all of our tools, because when we send tools through our remanufacturing process, they're guaranteed to operate like new, and we're going to back that by our warranty. All right, so this is great. The tool's running fantastic. The PLC, the HMI interface also looks awesome, which I love. And we are now moving to the air knife steps. So what has changed inside the chamber? So now that we're done with the wash, we've had the drain valve open and the DI water has drained from inside the chamber. We've now opened up our dampers in the back to allow airflow. We've turned on our ionizer to reduce static buildup inside the chamber. We've turned on our air blower to create a recirculation of heated air inside the chamber. And that's going to be supported right here by our air heater. So what we have is we have a blower underneath here that I mentioned that we rebuilt. That blower is going to pull in air and then force it through a pre-filter and a HEPA filter into the system and then back around. And so what we're doing is we're using forced heated HEPA filtered air to provide a primary heated drying chamber inside of our box washer. And then we're going to support that through these oscillating air knives. So these air knives are then going to be provided by high pressure N2 or CDA, and they're going to be inside the chamber, and they're slowly going to oscillate back and forth like this. That's part of the calibration procedure that I described with the Bimba cylinders on the back earlier. And they're going to be aiding in that drying while having high pressure through spray nozzles that's going to knock water droplets off. So you have these air knives that are moving around and swatting water droplets all over the place to knock them from being large droplets or pooling up anywhere. And then you have a heated recirculating environment that's going to be pulling humidity out and causing an evaporation inside of there. So since we did a high purity cleaning first with surfactant and resistivity measured DI water, we can follow that up with a heated recirculation and air knives in order to complete this drying process. In this case, we've set our dry time for 45 minutes. That's a pretty typical dry time for these systems. Depending on your product, that could be as low as 30 or up to an hour. Really depends on what you're washing, what the material is, what temperature you're running at, how much product you have in the chamber. Sort of a whole variety of details lead into what your recipe is going to be. I guess you could say that's just like anything else in your fab. But because of that, we have 42 more minutes and 30 seconds to wait. What we're going to go ahead and do is pause the video for now. For you guys, it's just going to be a snap because we're going to edit it, and I'll be right back when this 42 minutes is up, and we'll then inspect the chamber door and conclude this video source inspection. And I'm back. I'm like the Flash when it comes to drying semiconductor cassettes and boxes. So we have now been successfully drying for the past 45 minutes or so. The total process time, as I had just mentioned, was 45, but we're down to the last minute. So we can see that our remaining time here is only 50 seconds. We can see that our air temp right now is 56.8 Celsius. What we've seen the entire time is that it has been going above and below the 60-degree set point as the heater turns on and off during the drying process. It dips as low as that approximately 57 mark. It'll then heat up to about 60, 61, and then dip back down. So it's been maintaining temperature the entire time. I can feel the chamber door, and it is warm to the touch. Not the sidewalls, just the front. It's not hot enough to burn me or anything, but you can definitely feel that the system has been running. And in 15 seconds, when we complete our drying process here, what we will do is have a cool down period before I'm able to open the doors. So we'll be able to do that first. Okay, so as I mentioned, we now have a cool down period, 120 seconds before we'll be able to open the front door and inspect the products. Everything about the system has been running great this entire time. I can come back to the back of the system. You can feel the air duct is quite hotter because the air duct is actually pulling out that air that's fully heated. Same with the exhaust plenum back here. There are overtemp sensors hooked up with the system to prevent any sort of situation that would cause harm to a user or the tool itself. Fortunately, the interface with the system for any operator or normal use is going to be all in the front right here, and all of the system is warm as it was just drying at 60 degrees Celsius. There's no hazard to me touching it, as you can see, so everything's running great right now, and we're going to be able to have a nice, clean and dry product here at the end. So right before we conclude, I'd like to say that if you're enjoying our video source inspection for today or would like to learn more about our products, please check out some more of the videos on our YouTube channel, which is where you're at right now, or head over to our website at www.sitekprocess.com. I think a lot of our best information is found on our YouTube channel though, which is where you're at right now. We have a lot of instructional and informational videos on there, not just demonstrating more systems like spin wrench dryers or wet benches or mask cleaners, but also educational videos, such as showing how to troubleshoot your equipment, how to set up your facilities, and a variety of others. So please take a second to browse through those channels and let us know what you think. All right, here we go, 5 more seconds. Feels like I'm waiting for New Year's around here. Cool down is complete. So to open door, touch start, stop button. So we're gonna acknowledge the fact that our cycle is complete. Pop open our door here. I can feel the chamber being warm. Our cassettes are warm to the touch and are entirely dry. I'll grab one from the back as well. Yep. Everything about these looks great. They'd be ready to use in the fab. Let's go ahead and check out this rack. So that looks great. And we'll take a look at the back one. Perfect. I'd like to thank you for taking a moment to view our video source inspection for today. Again, my name is Daniel, and this video is filmed for Sitek Process Solutions. If you'd like to learn more about us, as I mentioned, please check out some more videos on our YouTube or go to our website. But what I'd like you to do most is just pick up the phone and give us a call, 916-797-9000, and to reach me directly, dial extension 2201. Thanks for your time and have a wonderful day.